Hello and welcome to the Comedy Workshoppe. I'm your host, Jack Merrywell. Today's podcast is brought to you by the metaphysical concept of shame. That's 1-800-OH-GOD-WHY. Welcome again to the Comedy Workshoppe, the podcast about comedians sitting around, shooting the shit and workshopping material. My guest today is Ben Flug, one of my best friends in comedy, a stalwart of the St. Louis scene and co-founder of No Name Comics, the most defunct comedy venue on either side of the Mississippi.
Because it's spelled with an X.
So Ben, thank you for being here. Today my panelists include other members of No Name Comics, HD Reeves and Marquise Moore.
I'm in here.
That's Marquise, ladies and gentlemen. So Ben, do you have a piece of material that we can start workshopping?
I do, but I'm worried that no matter how good we get it, it's only going to last like 3 or 4 months and then just go away forever. But
yeah, that's kind of how your material goes.
Yeah. So I'm trying to work on this thing where I started last night and just got derailed by the drunk people. But it was trying to do something about connect how pet owners who think that they know their pets. And like, you know, someone who owns a dog always thinks, oh, my dog is so happy, he's smiling. What if we're just wrong and we're misreading other animal cues? So for example, the things that we think that are making a dog happy just make them abjectly miserable. And I just want to talk about that a little bit and then say, that's how I feel at work. Everyone thinks, oh, I'm happy about the promotion, I'm happy about doing this job. No, I'm a dog who's being told that I'm smiling and I hate everything. I just want to connect it to just talk about animals in that sense and then bring it to talking about just people in normal day situations. And to have the turn come out of nowhere, but I haven't figured out exactly how to flesh it out all the way.
The first thing that pops into my mind is that as you're making the turn, you can just personify the people giving you things in your job that's talking to you the way
that you talk to the dog.
Who's getting a raise? Yes, you are.
I like that.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so who's getting a raise? That's funny, dude. That shit.
And then you have to call the HR department because they're rubbing your belly while they tell you.
That dude, I like that shit. Okay.
So, and did you have like any examples in mind for like shit that people say dogs are happy about?
So that's the kind of shit I've just been spitballing out on stage. The one thing that came to my mind is when how every time a dog looks like they're happy to go back inside, because when they're out for a walk, even if you only let them out for 30 seconds, they're not happy to go back inside. They just know, now I get to eat, you motherfucker. You have made me run through all this. I could connect that to lunch hour. You think I'm happy to go on lunch? No, I wanted to go 2 hours ago. You could do that kind of thing with it.
I asked at 10:58.
You did.
Don't worry about my business. 10:58, I was hungry. Yeah, and I feel like you like a dog in a bone. He looks all excited, but what he's really thinking is, motherfucker, give me some meat.
Right.
Nothing on this bone.
I like that. That one's really raw. Another one that I was spitballing with Keith about yesterday, and we each had a different angle on it, is how did it come about with the God thing? So we were bullshitting about people who believe in God and the people who are really over the top with it and just try to apply it to every simple itty bitty everyday decision. And so Keith started spitting. You should try to flesh this one out today, dude. He started spitting about just little normal disgusting things you do every day, and is God in you then? He's like, when I pick my nose, God is in me. God has a purpose for me while I'm wiping my ass because it was more running than I thought it would be. God is with me and has a plan for me.
I just had anal sweat sex with my wife. Was God in me then? I just sweated on my wife's back. Is that a God in me?
Why you gotta look at me when you say that?
Because we heard your act.
I just...
So he does that, and then we started riffing on why, how many people it is that have actually even seen God. The entire book and entire religions are based on like 2 or 3 people who have actually claimed to have had contact with him. So he goes, Keys goes, what are there, like 5 people that have ever seen God? And then I said, and I would like to do something with this. I said, there are more people that have seen Sasquatch than have seen all of the gods in every religion combined. I feel like there's something way more.
It's more.
I could pull up on Google Images now.
Yeah, and, he's like, and you know what? Frankly, a blurry photograph beats even the Sistine Chapel. Like no painting beats the evidence of Sasquatch.
I like that.
The Loch Ness monster.
You can dip your pages in gold all you want. It's not like it's not a photograph.
And you have to make it the shittiest possible phone. Like
Just seen it.
Okay, so what would be an example of the shittiest phone you could get now that would have still taken a picture?
A Razor.
Nah, but we got to be one past that now because Razor didn't even take.
No, you mean you gotta be one past
Yes.
that. You just upgraded.
I am
Razor.
exactly one past that.
So what do you have?
The Galaxy Blaze.
A blade. He went from a razor to a blade. Oh, you say
He's still on that wall. Shit.
Either way, he is off the cutting edge.
You could be like gold. How long did it take him to the Sistine Chapel? Ish.
I don't know.
I like how I just appeal to Jack for any smart fact, and every once in a while, who the fuck knows that? I don't know. The Sistine Chapel the Sistine Chapel isn't any more evidence than an iPhone 3 picture, just something very outdated. A blurry iPhone 3 picture of Slender Man. That might be a little more relatable to people nowadays. More people have seen Slender Man than there is that have seen God.
And in fairness, which one historically is responsible for the slaughter of more children?
probably go with God.
Ladies and gentlemen, the born again Christian of the group. Reeves.
Yeah, that was like saying a racist joke with one black person in the room. Like everybody just kind of looked at HD like, "It's gonna play."
I keep it real.
Play.
It's so true.
Dude, have you heard about this video game called The Binding of Isaac?
No.
Look it up immediately. Look it up immediately. It's some shitty little game that's cost a few dollars to download on the PSP network, but it looks like one of those old school computer, like Tetris style thing. And it's a little action adventure game, and you are baby Isaac, whose parents are trying to offer him up for a sacrifice, and he escapes down to the dungeon of the dungeon of his house, and fighting all kind of monsters and stuff just to stay alive. It's insane and crazy popular. You need to look it up immediately.
You know what the funny thing is, though?
What?
If you lose that game, what happens? Abraham starts to kill you, and then an angel stops him. Like, fucking, it doesn't matter.
And such is the dilemma of
You
faith.
almost died. Never mind. I was gonna kill you, but God said don't do it.
I like that idea, though. Was God in me when I was picking my nose?
that one's hit. That part of it's hit. I love that shit.
Yeah, man.
The power of Christ compels you, booger. Cast out.
Get you out.
Oh my God.
Oh, you got anything else, Ben?
There was one other thing that was about the day job again that I was working on.
That thing you just picked up was HD using a zipper to cover a fart.
That's HD heavy ass in his lunchbox.
Okay, this is crazy raw, but I know that there's something here.
All right.
I want to talk about. I wish depression didn't take up quite so much of my time, because it's really cutting into the time that I could be spending to just hating myself. What is here? I could hate myself, but wondering why can't people who are depressed or just self-loathing, why can't we still be productive during the time? It would be great if I could just go about my day and still hate myself and be depressed, but be productive. Like, why is it that I can't hate myself while getting shit done? But no, instead I have to make sure that I work from home and making hotel reservations for places I'll never be able to afford. so I have time between calls to count the things that I should be doing and just paint a further picture of being depressed. But again, crazy raw, but I want there to be something about just... yeah.
I like that. Just why does my depression get in the way of me hating myself? That's like a Stephen Wright one-liner, just in and of itself. Just.
Is it maybe just a setup? A one-liner set up to talk about other things along those lines, or is there something more there that can be fleshed out?
Or maybe Well, I think there's probably something that can be fleshed out, but like I would use that as like an aside in a story.
Okay.
You're like telling another story.
I see what you mean.
And like if you're sad in the story, just kind of stop and just be like, and by the way, this pisses me off. Why does depression always get in the way of me hating myself?
Yeah, I'm trying to. So my biggest problem right now, and I'm enjoying it because it's fun. But I've been talking to them about it. I was so weak naturally with stage presence and crowd work and freestyling and those other kind of elements. It was the writing that I was always more comfortable with from the start, which is why Cell Phone Joke and a few things that have been working for me came out pretty quickly, but then I had to use those to get comfortable with all the live entertainment aspects of shit. Now I still have a long way to go with everything, but those parts of it I feel I've brought along enough and I'm confident enough that now I want to go back to writing. So the 20 solid minutes that I've had that I can easily stretch to 30, I'm kind of trying to strip back down because the shit that I had written and perfected is really no longer what I'm trying to do. It was just the first things. So I'm trying to either both rework the stuff that I have to kind of fit a narrative that I'm working on now, but also shape a new narrative altogether. And I would like it to be darker and more personal, but not the kind of way Carlin and Rock were personal, like we talked about, the third party thing. I don't want to talk about me, I want to talk about, have you ever noticed that, and I'm trying to figure out how to introduce new stuff, that dilemma we all have of when you're trying to introduce new material with old material that it doesn't go with, but just not eat shit on a paid gig. Because so I'm struggling right there, but I'm enjoying tearing everything back down and starting new. So, all I've been doing so far is just using old material to bring back a show that I'm fucking up for a couple minutes because the new stuff's not working, or fuck with the crowd. I know how to bring a set back when the new shit's not working, but is that just all you have to do? Just a slow, seamless transition, and there's really no other way to go about it?
Pretty much. Or just dive into it. Like sometimes I'll just open a show with my like murdering cats bit that I did last night,
and then go from there.
So that like.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Marquise working out some material, I guess you could call it, in the bathroom.
Depositing it into the toilet to be flushed away.
Marquise is working on discarding some material right now.
Yeah, though Ben has been pitching material for a while, there's only been one instance of solid waste being deposited. And Marquise is currently shitting into the toilet. Let's drop the...
What we're trying to say is usually the jokes fall out of his mouth. You get the rest.
Damn. Marquise is dropping an album.
He is the shit.
Oh. Yeah, but no, that's where I'm at right now. So, sort of deconstructing everything and still trying to do decent on 15, 20-minute gigs, but I am at that point where I don't give a finally at that point you guys have reached for the most part where I don't give a fuck whether they laugh. In fact, if I was telling them now if the whole crowd laughs really hard at something I've said, I kind of feel like I did something wrong. I feel like if half the crowd's laughing hysterically and the other half is either totally against me or just, that's where I need to be, then I did what I set out to do.
There's a comedian named Simon Munnery who's got that exact sentiment, but just phrased perfectly as a one-liner.
Yep.
Yeah, if the crowd is behind you, you're facing the wrong way around.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That's funny.
Well, yeah, I think that'll do it for this week's podcast. So, Ben, thank you for opening your notebooks to us. HD, thank you for being here. And Marquise, thanks for taking that shit in there. You're welcome. And to the internet, I think it's time for us to say goodbye.
We love you.
You hang up first. No, you. I love you. Hang up first. All right.